Now, as far as preparing your releases, in this section, we just want you to fill in, like from the last page, each month's projects. Go ahead and think about the things you can do to maximize your pre-orders or release week sales. And then for each of those items that you use, how far ahead do you have to prepare? What do you have to order? What do you have to do in advance in order to make sure that happens on time? So, and then I want you to just take into account all these things you write here, and then assign a date or assign a timeline here so that you can move forward to the different sections and months, and go to your projects for like a week or a month and write down these different things you can do to make sure you're maximizing your pre-orders or release week sales. And of course, in this section, I just talk about what it is to understand marketing and visibility and my brick by brick marketing system, or it's really just a visual explanation of how marketing and visibility should work. These are organic things you can do before you rise to the level of paid advertising. A lot of times, if you're not taking advantage of all these organic things you can do, you're going to burn money. You're going to lose money that you didn't necessarily have to. So again, brick by brick marketing, I explain a lot there. Now, visibility growth. Now, you don't be too modest with this. Go ahead and really think about, what is it going to mean if you have 1,300 followers on Pinterest? How is that going to amplify the kind of action you're getting on Pinterest now, for example? Because some people do have results from Pinterest. But the point being, how many more, if you increase your email subscribers by 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000, how does that amplify the kind of open rates, click rates, and sales rates you're getting now? Do you have funnels and welcome sequences that are high converting at this point that would, increasing that list would add to your sales substantially? So think about your current number of followers, and this is really good to have your benchmark. So when you reach the end of the year, you know exactly how many followers you started the end of the year with, or started the beginning of the year with. So, and then you can compare that with your end of year results. But either way, set a target, because if you just say, oh, I'll willy-nilly grow as I desire, then you're not going to have an objective to reach, and it's going to be a lot harder to make the kind of growth that's going to give you the progress you realistically want to see. So just being real here, you want to see massive growth and massive progress, but you can't if you're not setting targets and setting something that you can measure and that lights a fire under your butt. So in my blog section, so I really just wanted this to be a place where you could get ahead of the year and brainstorm. Now, not everybody's blogs, I don't think you need a blog, but I know there's so many authors out there who really do love to blog. And the first thing I would say is, if your audience is not primarily authors, then your blog should be tailored to be speaking to readers and the things that they want to read about in your genre. So past that, I won't get on my soapbox about that, but here, start going to places like Reddit and looking up your genre. Like if you write romance and you write a specific genre, type in a genre and type in argument or issue, or just type in the genre, and you'll see all these points of conversation come up about people arguing different arguments on the genre. So, if they say, well, romance is getting too spicy, is the only way to make it in romance to write stuff like 50 Shades of Grey. That is an actual thread on Reddit, and you can take that and say, hey, here's my take on that topic, and this should really help appeal to your target audience. Because if you write sweet romance, and you should be able to argue that no, you don't need to write 50 Shades of Grey in order to find an audience and sell books. So that is a great topic for a blog post, and something that would be of interest to your ideal readers, for example, who would like sweet romance. But either way, go ahead and use these different sources. Go into readers groups, not just authors groups, unless your target audience is authors. Go into readers groups and see what they're talking about. See what issues are the most contentious that you can have a viable opinion on. Don't just be superficial. Really get into it. If it's not something you can be passionate about, you don't have to worry. You don't have to write something about it just because everybody else is talking about it. Find the things that capture your interest that you know that you can speak with your audience about. And that will give you 52 blog ideas, so you always have plenty of ideas to reference. Now, collaboration. This is something I really, really love, collaborating with other authors. Can you find other authors in your genre? I mean, do you already have some in mind? And this is where you just start writing out who, at the beginning of the year, you think would be great to partner with to do like newsletter swaps or shout outs on social media, or if you guys want to create a reader group together and administer it together to, share the workload and make it really easy for everyone to manage. And then group book release parties. I've seen this. It has been a big hit for several people, as they all do the releases at the same time, or at least have the release party all together, and everybody does like a 2 or 3 hour takeover in order to bring audiences together, and it's like leveraging other people's audiences. I think Guy Kawasaki says, he says you should leverage other people's money. Well, how about leveraging other people's audiences? And if you're using authors who are in the same genre, then you can absolutely leverage audiences that are actually relevant to your work. So, and then also begin searching for blogs that serve your ideal readers. And again, unless you are specifically writing for authors, then you should be looking for blogs that serve for, if you write romance, serve romance readers in your niche of romance or sci-fi or horror or whatever you're writing. So start keeping the list of websites and social media influencers that you could guest blog for, or who you might be able to perform social media channel takeovers. And that's to say, not to say like, oh, I know I can do this, but that you could actually serve their audience. Think of service first and how you could contribute and help out on that channel, rather than just, I can't wait to get in front of this audience. That's a great perk, but think about service first. So anyway, which websites, blogs, podcasts, YouTube channels would you like to be interviewed for? This is a great thing, because we all should set really high goals for where we can get our interviews or book reviews and things like that. So what would be your ultimate here? Where would you most like to be interviewed on any forum? Would you like to get, if you're spotlighting a local issue or a social issue, or your fiction carries social commentary, then you could actually get interviewed at your local news station or on the radio, NPR especially, depending on your topic and your leanings, of course. But the point is, you could get interviewed anywhere. If you could get interviewed by anyone, who would you want to be interviewed by? What medium would you want to be interviewed on? So start thinking about that, and working on pitches and things that will help you get there. This list, keep referencing back to this list. So paid advertising. Now this page is really just to get you organized on, here are the different courses I could take, here's how much they cost. Go ahead and write down what they cost. Of course, you guys are welcome to come into the Author Transformation Alliance. We have created a model that allows everyone to get in at a very accessible rate rather than hundreds or thousands of dollars. So you're welcome to come into us. Udemy also has fantastic courses that if you sign up for Udemy, you'll often get emails where they're discounting their courses like once a month. And it's always like a different discount, but you can absolutely get great courses on there for very little. So this page is just to keep a list of your resources for making sure that you understand paid advertising before you put money into it. Okay? So please take that time, take that money to invest in yourself so that you can make every dime count when it comes to paid advertising. All right, guys, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video.